Thank you. As you grow your business, I know some of the challenges that entrepreneurs pick in the journey to entrepreneurship is the lack of access to finance. And I think that was a conversation before we went for lunch, which is true. But also there are other factors that affect a business. And maybe you could speak into that and see how the opportunities that you've had, they've unlocked other businesses for you, and also the visibility, what that does for your business besides the capital piece.
I know I still echo that access to funding is such a big problem to all of us, and sometimes you can have that access, but as everyone was saying in the room, if you ask me to bring plus my dead parents' certificate, then we are kind of stretching it a little bit. So ideally, yes, access to finance, and I know for banks, they can have that, but let's make the process a bit simpler, and I think we have talked about that a lot. But one of the challenges I encountered in my business, which made me streamline things, and I think this is something that can affect all of us, whichever country we come in, is being organized and doing the right thing as far as regulatory is concerned. And I'm not afraid to say that in 2024, I had a run-in with our revenue authority back in Kenya, and we went back and forth for almost 6 months. And within that particular time, if there was a time I really felt like this is when I need to quit, that was the time. And you realize when it rains, it just pours. During that particular time as well, I was having so many employees demanding pay rise. And I was wondering, okay, so I'm dealing with the revenue authority here. I have around 6 or 7 people who want, a pay increment. At the same time, I was also scaling Bandari Beauty into a medical spa as well. So the funds are also tied in scaling into something bigger. And I was sitting in my office wondering, did I actually ask for all of this? I can just quit and go and be a housewife somewhere back at home. But you realize sometimes you're doing things bigger than you. Because the moment you think about quitting, you have to think about the 20 employees, 30, 40 employees that you have. And for every employee, they always say it's like you're feeding 4 or 5 people. So you realize then at that point, it's literally beyond you in terms of this is not my business, my baby only, but this is something that is serving a greater good than that.
Okay. That's great. In terms of the breakthrough, you've realized this is the way I want to go. You've done your proof of concept. You've put your everything aligned. What could you say this was my breakthrough moment?
So when we talk about breakthrough moments, for some people, it can be you have run your business for quite a while, and maybe you want this big funding to come through so that you can scale. For others, it could be finding the best location to set up your business. For me, I would say it was when I realized what my purpose for my business was. Prior to 3 or 4 years ago, I was just running the Bandari Beauty as a commodity business. You have the money that I want, and I have the products, the skincare products that you want. At that point, we were importing skincare products from the UK, Korea, and US, and the customers would come in, this is what you want from Korea, here you go, give me the money, thank you, it's been nice, see you next time. But in 2021, thereabout, we had one of our strategy meeting in January, and we were trying to explore why is it that we have customers who keep coming back all the time? Whether you do little marketing or shout on digital, what is making these customers come back and back? And we were looking at the reviews as well, and you hear people talking about, you restored my confidence, I could not date, I could not show up my video on Zoom, and you start wondering, what exactly are we doing? And I remember during COVID, people were coming to the store, and someone starts crying. I cannot go anywhere, I cannot board what we call a matatu back home, which is the public transport, without someone sitting next to me wondering, what is wrong with your face? And you know, if you've gone through acne in the room, you know how that is mortifying. Because you know you have acne, you're probably trying to deal with it, but here comes someone else asking you, what is wrong with your skin? As if you have the answers to that. So people used to come to the store, they would cry, and it's during COVID, so you can't even hug someone. You're just doing, oh my God, it's okay, it's okay. And later you realize you're not in the commodity business of just give me the money, I give you the product. You're actually restoring people's confidence every day. So for me, when it was like a aha moment for me that this is the greater purpose that I'm serving. And the moment that hit me, it changed totally how I looked at my business, and that was the breakthrough moment for me, to be honest, because then how I decided to scale them, because that happened after the conference that we had the first time. And the fact that we were focusing on impact, I knew for a fact that with Bandari Beauty, we are giving the customers products to apply when they're back at home. And if you've used any skincare products to solve a problem, you will know that it's not a magic product. It takes at least 30 days to 60 or 90 days for you to see changes. So for that reason, I realized if I moved my business and scaled it into a medical spa as well, we're then able to use even more stronger ingredients to cut down the particular period of time it takes for you to see changes, and therefore able to deliver the confidence in real time compared to applying your products. Now, I did not know that running a service business was completely different from running, you know, a retail business, and it required a lot of money to set up. And I think that is where now I will identify with all the other entrepreneurs in the room, where you run to your bank and you start wondering, was this risk worth it in the first place? Because now I can't sleep. I'm just dreaming and having nightmares about this scaling. So you realize sometimes the risks will be there, but you can never be ready for them. You rather they come, you start working on them, and then you perfect on the way. So 2024 was quite a risky year, if I can say so.
And when you say having a service business is totally different, what would you say in terms of connecting the two? Is it a continuous conversation from the first encounter when I come to your shop, so that you're giving a solution to till the end, or how have you modeled that that business?
So Luna Medical Spa has been in existence for about 9 months now, and I can tell you for free that is one of our biggest challenge, because we have perfected the art now, connecting it to service and upgrading the customer to a service-based experience. You realize it's the same way you can go to a hotel. Service, you just feel it, as opposed to retail where I can see the physical product. But with service, you have to feel it yourself. And whatever we do catapults to you feeling that we have served you in a certain way. And we realized with time, it's a continuous process where we have to keep asking back for reviews. Give us feedback. What are we doing right? What did you like? What didn't you like? And we realized over time that this is something that might not work overnight, and we have to put strategies in place to ensure that it's a continuous process. So I wouldn't honestly stand here and say we have perfected it. It's one of our biggest headaches, because you realize how you deal with commodities is totally different with how you offer the service, and therefore this is something that we are constantly working on.
Thank you, and wish you all the best as you scale that side. From the journey and from the various areas that you've looked at through your business, what lessons has your journey taught you, and you would be willing to share with the ladies in the room and also those online to support with their entrepreneurship journey?
Initially, because I started my business by myself, I tried to grow it by myself. I used to say, I'm self-made. While that could be true, I came to realize over time that no one is self-made. It could be, for example, my husband remaining at home taking care of the children so I can be here. Yeah? So ideally, I wouldn't be here if I had to do both. And you realize sometimes you're so stressed at work and you have to go to someone else and just pour out your heart. This is happening, the employees are doing this, someone stole from me, the accountant doesn't know what they're supposed to be doing, and someone else is giving you a listening ear and also even giving you advice. So don't die alone, number one. Don't die alone. There is no certificate for suffering by yourself. No one will come and say, number one, this Joyce, here is your certificate for doing it alone. You will die doing it alone. So ask for help and accept help when it comes. So that's one. Number two, you will never be ready. Let the process find you while you are on the road. Because if you start thinking about an idea and you want to be ready with documents, you want to be ready with funding, you want to be ready with employees so that you can launch that ship, it will never happen, and it might actually disappoint you. So the best is to start, be on the road, and then you will scale from that particular angle. And then the last one is rest. Rest as much as you can. And I know entrepreneurs, sometimes we feel guilty, especially if we are the accountant, we are the marketing managers, we are the advisors, we advise ourselves, we call ourselves into small meetings within ourselves, and we forget to rest. And I've come to realize that you cannot think outside the box if you're not constantly taking those moments to rest as well. So rest, guilt-free. Because you can also rest, but you're feeling guilty. So you're not resting, actually. You're just stressing yourself simultaneously. So take some time off. You are now in a conference. You should not be calling people, today sales, where are we with the sales? How many customers have come to Pamzo? Today is a rest day. And I really like the women on my table, because someone was trying to call someone, and someone responded, no, I'm in a conference. Ideally, this is your time. So rest, and then you'll go back and handle your matters when you go home.
Awesome. And in the next 30 seconds, what would be your last parting shot to the ladies in the room, gentlemen, and also those online?
My parting shot would be, you are enough. If you look at most of us in this room who have been doing business for a while, even if it's a year or two, they normally say businesses die within what period? Within 5 years, yeah? Even within 3 years, a business can easily die. But we are here because we have managed to do it. So you are enough, actually. In as much as someone else will come with artificial intelligence, this is how you can improve your business. Someone else can come with funding, this is how you can scale your business. They're coming because you know what you're doing. You might not know all the answers here and there, granted. Obviously, we cannot know everything, though God should do something. I mean, we are putting our lives out here as entrepreneurs, so he should add a little bit of intelligence in there. But you're enough. And by the time other people are coming to enhance your business, it's because you already know what you're doing. And you should always trust that at the end of the day, with or without AI, with or without funding, with or without other people, you can actually make that ship sail.
Thank you, Maureen.
So for those who will ever come to Nairobi, we are Bandari Beauty Limited and Luna Medical Spa in Nairobi, Kenya. However, you can also find us online at Bandari Beauty on Instagram, and my personal brand at Maureen Bandari.
Bandari, spell Bandari?
Should we again use our hips? It's Bandari. Bandari. It's actually a Swahili word for harbor, like if you have an ocean or a sea somewhere where you dock. So that's the Swahili word for that.
Thank you so much, Maureen, for your time and for your story.
Thank you for inviting me again.
Indeed, it has spoken to someone in the room, online. We say your story matters, and every story is here to elevate your story as well. So thank you for your time and also for listening to our session. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And that is Maureen from Bandari Beauty, as well as Joyce. Another round of applause for them, please. You know, there's quite a lot of things that were mentioned. and said that really resonated with me. And I really feel like this was the perfect way to end the discussions for today. You know, in not so many words, on imposter syndrome. And as women, we tend to really cower and think we're not good enough. And to really have this false sense of humility where you keep talking about my very small business, because you feel like if you may be truthful to the fact that you are growing, maybe people will start questioning you. And Maureen said, have the boldness, have the courageousness to walk with the audacity of our male folk, because they will use all the jargon that Karine was talking about. No, I'm a big fintech company that spans 3 countries. By that time, maybe they've only dealt with like 3 of their international friends. But they have so much boldness with it. And you know, you need to learn to practice to speak well into your business and speak life. And that's why it is important to even have daily affirmations for your business and for yourself, so that you walk with confidence. And my late grandfather always used to say, he's like, dress the way you want to be addressed. And indeed, you also have to speak the way you want to be addressed. So that's also a challenge for each and every one of us today. So now we'll quickly turn our attention to the screens as we are about to finalize with regards to the discussions, because we're really going to go into a networking session as we end off today. I ask that you turn your attention to the screens as we have a client testimonial by Easy Cuisine, as well as an inspirational video from Mrs. Mlenga Kapwepwe.
My name is Shika Fredria Menin, the CEO of Easy Cuisine. We are into natural spices. I'm really glad to be part of this conference. It was an opportunity for us to be shown in the international market, because we have products which are locally made in Ghana, but others too need it. And so we brought it to Kenya. We have had various opportunities. We have met other competitors and other country members who are interested in our products. At the conference too, the training they gave us, we realized that I have to scale up and to bring other important products that other markets are looking for. And this has really inspired me to come out with more products, more than what I already have. I now have a different perception about Absa Bank. Formerly, I thought it was all about finance, taking our money and all that. But today, I have a different perception. I have learned so much. I realize that they are empowering the women entrepreneurs, and this has inspired me.
Women that inspire us. Their stories in 60 seconds. Mlenga Kapwepwe is one of Zambia's most influential women. A leader whose life work is steeped in arts and culture. She carries Zambia's story with her wherever she goes. A prolific author, playwright, and keynote speaker, her African pride is showcased even in her distinctive style. As head of Zambia's National Arts Council, she championed the arts through impactful advocacy that shaped the industry. More recently, she co-founded the Zambian Women's History Museum, a project to rescue and amplify forgotten contributions of women, digitally rewriting the historical record for the world to see. From preserving proverbs to building institutions, Mlenga Kapwepwe ensures Zambia's story is told in its own voice, complete and true. At Absa, we're inspired by these stories, and that's why we say, your story matters.
Absolutely. And right now, I'd really like for us to recognize Mrs. Monica Boram. She is a representative from the Ghana High Commission, and I think it's very important for us to put our hands together for her. See her in the room. Is she still with us? She went into a meeting. Please just convey our gratitude and just thank her for being part of this conversation. I think it's so important where we have such representation there, so that they can equally take it into their spaces and really talk about the women who are doing great things. And even the Ghanaian women who are here, I'm sure she would proudly be able to share those stories, as well as stories from our Zambian sisters and our Kenyan sisters. A round of applause to her, please. And our royals have been with us throughout the day. Another round of applause to them, please. They have been following today's proceedings, and we're just so grateful because it is important to have those spaces. I mean, everybody who is African knows the importance of traditional leadership and the importance that they play in how people think, how people expand, and what it is that they find acceptable. So it's very important that we have such representation and to also have them hear what we're saying and for us to also equally take back what their feedback is. So before we get into the breakaway session, international correspondents, are you still alive? You're still there. Would you like a mic? There we go.
Thank you. I just want to read this one comment. I think that kind of sums up day one of the Inspire Me Absa Conference 2025. And it reads from Facebook, absolutely loving the Absa Inspire Me Conference. Entrepreneurship has never been so sweet. We are truly learning and are eager to put what we are learning into practice. Thank you, Absa Bank, Zambia PLC. However, I'm not going to just extend this to Zambia, to go to Kenya, to Ghana, and everyone who's participated in making day one a success. Please, we shall see you tomorrow as well, where we've got more engagements, more different things. Please come renewed, refreshed, and prepared to learn even more from different speakers, different panelists, and just everyone in general who will be up on stage. I'll hand over back to you, Tehila, and thank you.
Thank you so much. And really speaking about collaboration, there was when you took the poll, there were answers in terms of people talking about the need for partnerships. Now, these partnerships have to also be founded between just you who are converged here in this room, right? And then Melinda Bam, she's a former Miss South Africa. She has a tagline that says that girls compete and women inspire. And women collaborate as well. So that's what's important. And we all know the famous verse that says, one will chase 1,000 and two will chase 10,000, not 2,000. So there's a multiplier effect in holding hands and working together. And we've certainly seen that with Absa Zambia, Absa Kenya, as well as Absa Ghana. Please put your hands together for the three teams. All right, so now entering the final phase of the day, this is what you call like a practical, right? You've been receiving lots of theory, but now it's time to put into practice. So we've got breakaway sessions, and it's for you to really just dive into the technical discussions and policy talk and really have some of those burning questions answered from maybe a policy perspective. So we definitely still have our exhibition area for you to meet the exhibitors as well as the suppliers, ask some questions on how you can also take your business to the next level. And also, as you're doing that, make sure you patronize them, why don't you? Make sure you also compare notes and just try to spark collaboration. This is a very good opportunity to do that. We also have business roundtable sessions that will be laid out at the right at the front of this auditorium, and it will be consisting of our ecosystem enablers from ZDA, which is the Zambia Development Agency. So are you looking to export to Zambia, import to Zambia, or looking for investment? These are the people to speak with. We also have the Zambia Association of Manufacturers. That goes without saying, and it's self-explanatory. We also have the Patents and Company Registration Agency. You're talking about how long some of the processes take. Well, some of those processes take long because you're not even registered with PACRA. So these are important. Yes, this is the Zambian chapter of the same, but I'm sure if you've got certain questions, they might be able to guide you accordingly if you're from Kenya or Ghana. We also have Fair World Properties Limited, and they deal in real estate. You can never go wrong, I hope, with real estate. So let's be practical and let's get informed, but just to advise you, so you don't need to stay at one stall for the whole period until we break off, right? So what you do is have conversations, ask those questions, and you can move on. If you've got questions for all of our ecosystem enablers, please feel free. But with that, would like to formally close the day one conference, but we're not done when it comes to networking. So make sure you take advantage of that. But I do know that at a time that we're getting out, some people might be in the foyer with the exhibition. So I just don't want to leave maybe some important announcements for tomorrow. Do we have any important announcements for tomorrow? Please do come early. Let's come early. Let's not have empty seats so that we're waiting to start. Because, you know, one thing is the online audience were there and they were ready and they had so many expectations. So I know it's been a long day, especially those who've traveled. I do know that sometimes you can get a bit jet lagged, but let's try to be here as early as possible so that we get things out of the way, so that I'm not rudely interrupting any panel discussions, and for us to just have smooth conversations during the day. With that, I'd like to thank you. You have been great, and we can't wait to see you tomorrow morning. Thank you.